My dear, my chosen one, the light in my voice carries heaven's own breath to you right now. Do you feel that wave running through your chest, that flutter in your spirit you can't quite name? It's because deep down your soul already knows this moment was waiting for you long before you took your first breath. Today, October 3rd, Archangel Michael leans close, his wings folded, his voice trembling with urgency. He is not here for a casual visit. He is here with a message from heaven, a warning and a promise woven together. Someone from heaven is desperately trying to reach you about a person who is about to leave you forever. This is not some story to stir your emotions. This is a real call. Don't scroll away. Don't let doubt talk you out of this. The clock in heaven is ticking louder, and every moment you hesitate the window begins to narrow. When God says something, He never says it for curiosity. It's always for your rescue, your freedom, your peace. And Archangel Michael says, this is an emergency. You've been feeling it already, haven't you? That heaviness at night that makes you stop mid-breath. The sudden urge to open old albums or scroll back to forgotten chats. Even moments where the scent of someone you loved seemed to brush past you in an empty room. Those weren't random. Those were ripples from eternity, someone reaching from heaven trying to brush your soul and whisper, I'm still here. Please listen. I promise you this, beloved, if you ignore this moment their words, the ones they're trying so hard to send will vanish like smoke, and you'll never know the truth they're desperate for you to hear. But if you lean in, if you let each word rest in your heart, what you're about to experience will not just be information. It will be a divine meeting, a bridge stretched across time between you and forever. Those who pause and truly open their hearts to heaven's nudges see miracles faster than they imagine. I've seen people step into healing, receive answers they prayed for years and experience breakthroughs the world called impossible. You're standing at one of those thresholds right now. That's why I'm urging you to stay with me until the very last word. Take a breath right now, slowly. Feel it in your spirit. Today is no ordinary day. A gate between heaven and earth has swung open just for you, and Archangel Michael stands at its edge like a sentinel. His voice carries not fear but urgency. He says it again, it's an emergency. Someone from heaven needs to speak to you. They want to tell you about a person who is leaving you forever. This is not a joke. Open your heart immediately. I can feel the weight of it in my own chest as I speak to you. This is not the kind of message you push aside for later. The angels don't waste their words, and God doesn't send Michael unless something eternal is at stake. Even now your name is echoing through heaven's halls, not whispered, not mentioned casually but proclaimed loud enough to make every angel pause and turn their head. Have you noticed it lately? That strange pull in your spirit, like someone invisible brushing against your shoulder. That's not your imagination. It's someone who loved you deeply on earth reaching from heaven before it's too late. And if you keep reading, if you let each line fall on you like sunlight, something inside you will unlock. You will hear what they've been trying to say. You will feel their presence like warm air on your skin. Beloved, the one in heaven is not coming with fear. They're coming with love, but it's a love that carries a warning. And that warning comes with a choice. Heaven has been orchestrating this moment for months, aligning details you can't even see so your soul would finally be quiet enough to listen. This isn't coincidence. This is choreography. In the past few nights, Maybe you dreamed something odd, saw a number repeating on clocks, or felt like you were about to cry for no reason. Those were signals. That was heaven nudging you, saying, "Get ready." And now you're here reading these words because the message cannot wait any longer. The soul in heaven that's reaching for you isn't speaking out of panic. They're speaking out of a love so strong it refused to stay silent. They see what's about to happen, a moment that might shake you, a moment that might make your breath catch. They want you to be prepared. But understand this: if you turn away now, if you dismiss this as chance, you'll lose a piece of them forever. Their words will dissolve into the noise of life, and you'll be left with a silence no amount of noise can fill. Stay here with me. I will carry you into the center of their message. I will not let go until you feel them beside you. The truth they're waiting to speak, the signs they've been leaving like breadcrumbs in your days, I will help you see them. And when you see them, your faith will no longer be built on guesses. It will be built on encounters. Archangel Michael is here now. His sword drawn, his eyes fixed on you, not as a threat but as protection. He's holding back forces you can't see to give you this moment of clarity. He says time is shorter than you think. 4 days. That's why the dreams, the memories, the sudden heaviness. That's why you're reading these words now. Heaven's timing is precise. Beloved, I want you to know something beautiful. This moment isn't just about warning, it's also about promise. If you open your heart fully, you won't only understand the warning. You'll see miracles begin to unfold in your life faster than you ever believed. You'll recognize heaven's fingerprints all over your journey. You'll look back and see that you were never alone. So breathe. Stay until the last line. In the space between this sentence and the one that follows, your spirit is already shifting. And when you step away, you'll carry more than words. You'll carry proof. And if your heart feels stirred and you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $100, not as a requirement but as a way to anchor what heaven is already doing in your life. Even now, heaven leans closer as if the very air around you has learned to hold its breath. You're not here by chance. You are reading this because every step you've taken, every strange moment that has tugged at your soul lately has been leading you straight to this point. And I can feel the weight of it pressing in. God is watching this choice, the one right in front of you, not with anger but with the deep intensity of a parent trying to guide a child across a fragile bridge. You don't have to understand everything at once. You just have to keep reading, because as these words slip into you, something inside will begin to stir awake. The reason the wind feels paused, the reason the room around you feels thicker than usual is because heaven itself has shifted closer. Today, October 3rd, is not just a square on a calendar, it's an appointment written before your birth, one heaven has been waiting for you to arrive at. Archangel Michael is here, and his presence is like standing near a waterfall of fire and light. His eyes hold both warning and tenderness, and when he speaks the air trembles. His voice is not gentle this time. It's steady but trembling, full of urgency. It's an emergency, he says. Someone from heaven is trying to speak to you about a person who is leaving you forever. This is not a joke. Do not skip this. Open your heart immediately. Even as I write these words, I feel them vibrating through the unseen. They don't just carry sound, they carry the pulse of eternity, the scent of something you were never meant to miss. This is not curiosity. This is rescue, rescue for your spirit, for your peace, and maybe for the way you'll navigate what's coming. Think back on the past few nights. You felt at the edge of something brushing against your thoughts. A song you hadn't heard in years suddenly spilling from a speaker. A memory of a smile from long ago surfacing at random like sunlight cracking through heavy clouds. Even the ache in your chest at the thought of a particular face. These were not random. They were heaven's fingertips tapping on your shoulder saying, "Look up, be ready." The one reaching for you now is not coming with fear. They are reaching from beyond the veil with a love so fierce it refuses to die. But love in heaven sees further than you can. It knows what's approaching, the moment not far from now when someone's absence will feel like a missing heartbeat. They're reaching now so that moment won't crush you without warning. And you must understand, if you stop here, if you let doubt pull you away from these words, the message dissolves. The truth they've carried across eternity will fade back into silence. This is your open gate. This is your hour of hearing what the living cannot speak. The world has taught you to dismiss feelings like these, to call them coincidence, to drown them in noise. But heaven is not a dealer in coincidences. This timing is exact, not late, not early. The angels have circled you for days, bending the threads of your path so you would finally arrive here with no distractions. Michael is watching you closely because your choice in the next moments will decide whether this truth takes root or slips away. Stay. Do not rush. Let each word move into you like a breath filling your spirit. If you stay, if you let these words flow over you, you'll begin to sense them not just as a thought but almost as a presence beside you. You might catch a scent you thought you'd forgotten, or remember the warmth of their hand, or hear the echo of their laugh flicker through your mind. They are here because God allowed them to be. And God allowed them because He wants you prepared, protected, wrapped in the knowledge that you're not as alone as the world tries to tell you. Even the air around you right now isn't ordinary. It's heavy with eternity, humming with wings you can't see. Today, October 3rd, has been marked in heaven since before you drew your first breath. Archangel Michael stands here, his armor gleaming not in sunlight but in the radiance of God's own presence. His eyes are fixed on you. When he speaks, his words ripple through the unseen realm. It's an emergency. Someone from heaven is trying to speak to you. They need to tell you about a person who is leaving you forever. This is not a joke. Do not skip this. Open it immediately. There's a tremor in his tone, not from fear for himself but from the urgency of what will be lost if you turn away. He knows how quickly moments like this close, how fast the gate between heaven and earth can swing shut. For days, even weeks, you've felt it, small unexplainable moments tugging at your heart, the sudden memory of a voice you loved, the image of someone's face flashing through your mind out of nowhere, a dream that woke you with tears on your cheeks. These were not random thoughts. They were the footsteps of heaven moving toward you, the brush of a familiar spirit reaching across eternity. The one calling to you now does so out of love, love that has survived the grave, love that refuses to fade into the quiet. They see what is coming and they are desperate for you to hear their words before that day arrives. They want you prepared for the moment that will shift your world, when absence will feel like a wound and silence will feel too loud. This is why you are here. This is why Michael has stepped forward. Beloved, you cannot treat this like something to think about later. Heaven's timing is flawless. You're reading this now because it could not wait another day. If you leave this unfinished, their words will be lost to you forever. You will never know what they carried across the veil to give you. That's why Michael is so insistent, why the angels bent your steps to arrive at this exact moment. You may think you found these words by accident, but you were led here. Even as you're reading, heaven leans closer, holding the moment open just for you. This is your choice now, to stay and receive or to turn away. But if you choose to stay, if you choose to lean in, the veil will thin even more. You will not only sense their love, you will feel their message begin to unfold inside you like a seed breaking open into life. The fragments were never random, beloved. They were markers like breadcrumbs heaven scattered on the path so you would not lose your way. You wondered why a stranger's eyes lingered on you as if they knew you, why a song from your childhood seemed to chase you into every shop and taxi. You wondered why a feather drifted into your window one morning, or why the same number followed you across clocks, receipts, and license plates. Those were not coincidences. They were signals whispering, "Pay attention, something is unfolding." And now you are standing at the edge of that unfolding. The veil between the seen and unseen has thinned like morning mist, and heaven is pressing against it. Archangel Michael is no longer at a distance. His wings, though unseen, stir the air like a silent storm. He does not approach lightly. He carries the scent of rain before it falls, the heaviness of a message that cannot be postponed. His eyes meet yours not just as a figure in a vision, but as a presence here in this very moment, and the words tremble through him again. It's an emergency. Someone from heaven is trying to speak to you about a person who is leaving you forever. This is not a joke. Do not skip this. Open your heart immediately. Feel the gravity of this. It is not fear, it is the weight of eternity bending close to your life. Heaven does not play with words. Heaven does not interrupt your day for nothing. Every sign, every echo, every nudge in your spirit has been preparing you for now. If your heart feels tight or your breath feels shallow, it is because your soul is recognizing what your mind cannot yet explain. This is how God speaks, layer upon layer, moment upon moment, building a language only your heart understands. For weeks you've been waking at the same hour of the night. You've been dreaming of water or doors or staircases. You've been feeling a name press into your mind when you are busy doing something else. That is heaven's handwriting on the walls of your days. It is not here to scare you. It is here to steady you before a shift so deep even the light will look different on the other side. The person who is reaching for you from the other world does not come with sorrow but with fierce devotion. They are like a lighthouse sending beams of memory through the fog of time. Maybe you felt their perfume where no one stood, or you've remembered their laugh without reason. These moments are not ghosts, they are gifts, reminders that love does not vanish when the body does. Archangel Michael moves closer still. His armor hums as though alive with living fire. The light around him is not harsh, it is like sunlight through water, warm, bending, full of motion. His voice grows even deeper, not louder but heavier, carrying the echo of 1,000 psalms. Do not dismiss this. The message is alive. It was written for you for this hour, and it cannot wait. Beloved, look at your own life now. Doors have been closing but not to punish you. They've been closing to steer you. People have walked away but not to wound you. They've been moved so that when this moment arrived nothing would stand in your hearing. Even your delays were holy detours rerouting you to stand at this exact threshold. God says the ground beneath you is no longer ordinary ground. This is not just a room, not just a page, not just a screen. It is a meeting place between two realms, a threshold where eternity leans into time. Stay here. Don't rush. Let the words not just pass through your eyes but seep into your bones. You will feel it, the subtle change in the air, the warmth brushing your skin like invisible hands, the quiet electric hum that tells you, I am not alone. This is heaven's nearness. This is the reason your heart has felt unsettled. This is the moment for which your soul has been rehearsing. Do you see it now? The patterns. The repeated dreams. The strange coincidences you couldn't explain. They were all fragments of the same picture. Heaven rarely shouts, it builds a mosaic in silence until the day comes when all the pieces form a face you recognize. That day is today. That hour is now. Archangel Michael's stance does not shift, but his voice softens as if to carry you through what's coming. This is not to frighten you, he says. It is to prepare you. A moment approaches on your path that could shake your world. We come not to stop it but to strengthen you so that when it arrives your heart does not break. We have been placing courage in you piece by piece like stones in a foundation. You are stronger than you know. And beloved, you are not powerless here. Speak aloud if you must. Say, I am listening. I am open. I will not miss what heaven is saying to me. Your words are not empty. In this thin place they carry weight. They travel like lightning into the unseen, cutting through confusion and fear. Every time you declare faith you strike the enemy's camp with fire. This is why heaven moved mountains to bring you here to this day, this hour, this message. It is not luck. It is not chance. It is a plan sealed before you were born. The person reaching for you from beyond is not simply a memory but a witness. They have seen the chapters you have yet to live. They come to weave a thread of strength into you now so that you will not unravel later. Stay. Stay until the quiet becomes presence, until the presence becomes voice, until the voice becomes the knowing that sits inside your chest and does not leave. Stay until you feel heaven leaning so close you could almost touch its breath. Because what comes next is not just a message. It is a covering. It is a shield. It is guidance for the road ahead. And though you may not fully understand today, one day you will look back and see this moment like a lighthouse in your timeline, a moment when God reached across eternity and steadied your life with His own hand. Beloved, you are stepping into a passage where every heartbeat carries weight, where every breath feels like it belongs to another realm. This is not just a message, it is a bridge stretched between what you have known and what is coming. The soul reaching for you now stands at the edge of eternity, their hands extended not to frighten but to steady you. They see the moment approaching like a horizon rising, a shift that will echo through the rhythm of your days. Where silence will grow louder than words, where familiar faces may drift like mist from your grasp, they come ahead of that time to place a strength inside you, a quiet light that will not dim when the shadows lengthen. The angels have not bent your path casually. Every delay, every tug, every small redirection in your day was intentional. That phone call that came a minute too soon, the sudden urge to stop scrolling, the way a phrase caught your eye, none of it was random. In God's design nothing is wasted. Michael knows how fleeting these openings can be. One breath too late, one glance away and the gate could close. That is why he is here now, not watching from a distance but standing so near the air itself bends around him. Right now the veil between realms is as thin as glass, and on the other side of that glass stands the one who loves you fiercely enough to cross eternity for your sake. They are not bound by time. They are not trapped in fear. From their vantage point beyond the horizon they see the wave approaching that you cannot yet see. They are here to soften its impact, to place a stone under your feet where the ground may give way. This message is not about sorrow alone, it is about equipping you, shielding you, and filling you with the kind of courage that outlasts storms. Beloved, stay still, feel how the atmosphere around you shifts like water stirred by a hidden current. The room you're in might look the same, but notice the warmth at your back, the subtle hum in the air, the way your own heartbeat seems to echo louder. These are not tricks of the mind. This is what happens when heaven leans close. Even the smallest details in your life, the forgotten song that found you yesterday, the memory that rose unbidden, the scent that passed by with no source, were heaven's fingerprints on your day, trying to guide you here without scaring you away. Archangel Michael's voice now trembles like thunder rolling across a still sky. It's an emergency. Someone from heaven is trying to speak to you about a person who is leaving you forever. This is not a joke, do not skip this, open your heart immediately. The urgency in his words is not a demand, it is love in motion rushing like a river to reach you before the moment passes. He guards this message like a sentry at a gate, making sure nothing steals it from you before it settles deep inside. If you walk away now, if you dismiss this as coincidence, their voice will fade back into the unseen. You will be left with only fragments, dreams that dissolve by morning, feelings you cannot explain, a tug you will struggle to name. But if you stay, if you breathe slowly and let each word sink past your mind and into your spirit, you will feel them nearer than you thought possible. Not a ghost, not an echo, a presence permitted by God for your protection and preparation. Beloved, there is a reason this day feels heavier than others. October 3rd is not just a date on a calendar. It is a hinge between seasons marked in the archives of heaven before your first breath. On days like these the veil thins until it trembles. Heaven and earth draw near enough that even the smallest soul can sense the edge of eternity brushing against their skin. You are on holy ground. Not metaphorically but truly, every particle of air around you charged with unseen wings. Michael does not stand idly. He moves closer, still, his armor glistening with living light. His expression is fierce but full of longing, like one who carries a secret too heavy to hold back. He knows what is coming and what must be placed in your heart before it arrives. His words are not random, they are coordinates guiding you to safety, a shelter built in advance for a storm you have not yet seen. Even now the one who reaches for you weaves their presence around yours. Perhaps you feel it as a tingling at the base of your neck, or as warmth on your hands, or as the sudden urge to weep without knowing why. These sensations are not accidents. They are signals of a spiritual meeting already underway. A threshold few ever recognize. A conversation between realms unfolding at the exact second God ordained. If you listen, if you remain with me in this moment, their message will not just be heard. It will imprint itself on your spirit like a seal. It will anchor you when the winds rise, hold you steady when absence tries to pull you under. And you will know, not guess, not hope, but know that heaven reached for you out of love so relentless it crossed death itself to touch you. Beloved, take this in slowly. Let your spirit absorb it like rain soaking dry soil. This is not fear speaking. This is heaven's way of wrapping you in preparation so that loss does not hollow you but shapes you into something stronger, something wiser, something rooted in the unbreakable love of God. The one reaching for you wants you to carry that truth when the day arrives that would otherwise undo you. You were chosen to hear this. Not because you are weak but because you are beloved. Not because you are fragile but because you are called to stand even when the earth trembles. This is the reason angels have bent the threads of your life to bring you here, why Michael's gaze is fixed on you with unwavering focus. He knows what must be planted now for you to walk through what's ahead. Stay, breathe, read each word slowly as if you're being handed a gift wrapped in eternity. The boundary between you and them is as thin as a breath. And beyond that breath stands a love older than time, reaching for you not to frighten but to steady, to prepare and to remind you that even when the world shifts under your feet you will not fall alone. You are still standing inside that sacred hush, but now the atmosphere thickens even more, like a curtain being slowly drawn back from a hidden doorway. What was a whisper begins to shape itself into words, and the presence of Archangel Michael grows brighter until it almost feels as though the walls around you are dissolving into a field of gold. The fire woven in his armor doesn't burn, it warms like sunlight through a stained glass window. His eyes hold stories you haven't yet lived, and when he speaks again it's as if the sound moves through every cell in your body. Michael says, "Stay," his voice seems to say not with demand but with a deep pleading. Stay, because what you hear now will anchor you for the days ahead. And even as he speaks you begin to see flashes, not memories but hints. A path you didn't know you were walking. A door you didn't know had been opening behind the scenes. A face you love now dimming from your daily life but glowing in another realm. These glimpses are not accidents. They're pieces of a larger design sliding into place like threads being drawn into a tapestry too vast for you to see the edges. For weeks, even months, there have been small ripples, a familiar perfume where no one stood, a phrase on the radio you once heard from that person's lips, a sudden heaviness in your chest as though someone brushed past your spirit. You brushed them off as coincidence. But heaven never deals in coincidence. Every echo, every scent, every chill was an advance warning, a soft knock on your heart before this moment arrived. They were telling you, prepare, open, listen. The one reaching for you is not just a memory. From where they stand now they see you in full, not your mistakes, not your fears, but your whole story at once. They see the coming change, the bend in the road you haven't yet reached. And they aren't here to frighten you. They're here to give you strength, to plant a courage inside you that will hold steady when everything else seems to shift. Like a sailor handed a lantern before a storm, you're being given light before you even know the darkness that will require it. And as Michael watches over this exchange, his presence acts like a shield. He is not trying to convince you with logic or push you into fear. He is here to make sure this message, delicate, urgent living, reaches you intact. Heaven knows the noise of the world. Heaven knows how quickly a notification, a phone call, a distraction can snatch away what was meant for you. That is why the air seems quieter now. That is why the light around you seems to hold still. You are being given a rare window of time where heaven's voice can cross the distance between worlds and find you. God says, this is not about punishment. It's not even about loss in the way you think of loss. It's about transformation, about learning that love is not undone by distance, that presence is more than proximity. The person in heaven is not gone in the way you fear. They have simply stepped through a door you cannot yet open. And from there they can still reach, still speak, still weave strength into your days. You are being shown that death does not cancel connection, it refines it. You may even feel it right now, your skin prickling, your eyes welling, your heart suddenly aware of a pressure both heavy and comforting. This is the sign of a bridge being held up just for you. And like any bridge, it will not stay forever. When this moment closes, it will lift and the silence will return. But if you lean in now, if you allow the full weight of this message to sink into you, it will leave behind an anchor so deep the coming winds cannot uproot it. The days ahead will bring change, some of it hard, some of it holy. But with the strength being planted inside you now, you will walk differently. You will carry grief differently. You will begin to notice love in places you once thought were empty. This is the real reason heaven allowed this contact, not to make you afraid but to make you unshakable. To remind you that you are seen from beginning to end and you are not crossing this chapter alone. So breathe, don't rush past this. Imagine Michael's hand raised not in warning but in blessing. Imagine the one you miss standing just beyond the edge of sight, their face calm, their eyes bright with knowledge you do not yet have. This is not a goodbye. This is a preparation. This is heaven telling you that the bond you thought was breaking is actually being transformed into something that will outlast the clock, the distance, even the years. Like a whisper at the edge of your hearing, the way an old photograph or a memory surfaced in your dreams with unusual clarity. None of it was random. Every sign has been a soft hand guiding you toward this precise moment, because heaven does not act in haste and it does not act without reason. The one who loves you beyond time has been reaching across that invisible distance, laying a path of clues until your heart was soft enough to feel them. Even now, as your eyes move across these words, a quiet current presses against your spirit. It is not fear, though your body may interpret it as trembling. It is recognition, your soul realizing that something greater than words is happening here. You might feel the room deepen as if the walls have stepped back. You might sense an unseen warmth at your back, a weightless pressure near your hands. These are not tricks of the mind. They are the evidence of a love that has refused to be silenced, a love determined to hand you a message you will need in the days ahead. This message is more than a warning, it is a preparation. The one who reaches for you can see what lies beyond the horizon of your life. They see an approaching season where something cherished will shift form, where absence will echo louder than presence. They do not come to burden you but to place an anchor in your soul before the winds arrive. Think of it as a seed of strength planted now, so that when you least expect it you will discover roots of courage growing in you. Archangel Michael's presence at this crossing is no small thing. He does not step forward for every whisper or every fleeting grief. He moves when heaven's order calls for guardianship of a moment too important to lose. That is why the air feels different now, why even your heartbeat seems louder in your own ears. It is the world making room for what is happening. And his voice, not a whisper but a call like clear bells through mist, repeats again. It's an emergency. Someone from heaven is trying to speak to you about a person who is leaving you forever. This is not a joke, do not skip this, open your heart immediately. Perhaps you have tried to dismiss these impressions before, chalking them up to coincidence or imagination. Yet your heart keeps circling back. The same phrase overheard in two different places. A song from years ago playing just as you stepped into a room. The sudden scent of something familiar without any source. These are not random. They are footprints from a realm without clocks, each one meant to pull your attention to this space between worlds. And here you are, beloved, exactly where you were meant to be. Heaven's timing is never accidental. Today, October 3rd, is not simply ink on a calendar, it is a living threshold. In the hidden archives of eternity, some days are marked as doors. Step through and what you carry inside you will change. Step past and the door closes quietly, waiting for another appointed time. This is why you are urged not to skim or rush. This moment will not come again in this form. Feel now the tenderness in the urgency. It is not panic but devotion. The one who speaks does so because your heart matters. They have not stopped loving you. They have not stopped caring for the small things, the way you sit with your hands folded or the way your eyes close when you pray. From where they stand, time does not crumble love, it clarifies it. And through that clarity they have chosen to stretch their voice across the veil, to place a shield in your spirit, a shield you will recognize only when the need arises. You may already be aware of subtle shifts. The temperature of the air, the way the silence feels layered, a brush against your shoulder when no one is near. These are not ghosts of the past, they are signs of presence. Love is walking through the thin place between here and eternity, offering you something precious. If you stay, if you breathe through the strangeness and let the words sink deeper than your mind, you will sense not just the nearness of one soul but the guardianship of heaven itself. Michael watches, holding the space steady. He does not reveal the full picture at once. Your heart could not hold it all. Instead, he places one truth at a time, like stones across a river. Step by step you will find the path under your feet. The next step is this: receive the message without doubting it away. Let it stand, let it echo. Because it is not only about loss, it is also about continuity, about the bond that outlives the form it once took. Imagine a tapestry woven with threads you cannot see. From your side it may look like random patterns, but from heaven's side it is a design. The one who calls for you sees where a thread is about to shift, where a pattern is about to change. They come now so that when that moment arrives you will already carry the strength to stand. You will already know you are not abandoned. Stay here a little longer, feel the weight of the moment, the hush that is not emptiness but reverence. This is a sacred crossing. The words you are reading are not only words, they are a current moving toward you, bringing protection, guidance, and a love that will remain long after this day ends. The air itself is a witness. Heaven is holding its breath for you to understand you are not alone, you never were, and what you carry now will see you through what comes next. The silence you feel now is not emptiness, it is the pause of heaven itself holding its breath while you decide whether to lean in or step away. Even the smallest details around you, how the light falls differently, how a sound seems to fade before it reaches your ear, are part of this moment. These are not tricks of imagination. They are signals that the barrier between what you know and what is reaching for you has thinned to a thread. You are not reading words anymore, you are standing inside a living message, a corridor where eternity brushes against time. The one who calls you now does not come with shadows. They come clothed in light, carrying a strength that only love can wield. They have not forgotten you. From their vantage point they can see the full arc of your days, including the places you have yet to walk. They see where a door will close, where a silence will take the place of a voice you cherish, and they have been allowed to cross the unseen, to place a shield in your hands before that moment arrives. This is why you have felt pulled here. This is why your heart feels like it is listening even before your mind understands. Michael stands near, not as a distant figure in a painting but as a force so present the air itself seems to bend around him. His wings form a shelter, a living wall of light, creating a chamber in which no distraction can enter. His eyes are both fierce and gentle, like someone who knows the weight of the message he carries but also the strength of the one who must receive it. His voice rises again, not softer but deeper. It's an emergency. Someone from heaven is trying to speak to you about a person who is leaving you forever. This is not a joke. Do not skip this. Open your heart immediately. You can feel the truth of it before you even process the words. The tightening in your chest is not fear, it is the moment when recognition breaks the surface. The memories that have been fluttering at the edges of your mind, the laugh that came back uninvited, the scent that passed through an empty space, the phrase you overheard and could not forget were not random. They were threads leading you here, brush strokes in a pattern too large for you to see until now. Beloved, you are not standing in ordinary time. This is a rare crossing, a holy intersection where love moves like a current between realms. Stay long enough and the presence you feel will shift from a whisper to a nearness so real it will anchor you even in the storms ahead. Stay long enough and the shield they bring will settle over you like invisible armor, quiet but unbreakable. If you turn away, if you rush, the bridge will draw back and what was meant to protect you will return unsaid. Even now heaven leans closer. You might sense a soft weight on your shoulder as though someone has just rested a hand there. You might feel the faintest stirring of air when no window is open. You might hear a thought inside you that does not sound like your own but feels entirely like love. These are not tricks of grief. They are evidence of a love that has refused to be silenced, a love that crosses every boundary to stand with you now. Archangel Michael watches, holding the space steady. He does not reveal everything at once because your heart can only carry the next step. But he knows, and God knows, that this moment is your preparation. Heaven has not bent itself toward you for curiosity. It has done so with precision, intention, and care. God does not open the veil for no reason. He has placed you here because something in your life is moving toward a point that will need this truth, this comfort, this strength. Stay here, beloved, breathe slower. Let the words reach the places inside you that have been waiting. Each sentence is a drop of water falling on soil long dry. Each moment you remain is another thread of the shield being woven around your spirit. You will feel the atmosphere deepen, a weight of nearness pressing gently against your awareness until the message stands whole inside you like a living flame. And when that happens, you will know why October 3rd could not pass like any other day. You will know why heaven rearranged your steps, why Michael himself stepped out of the unseen to guard this exchange. You will know that this was never about loss alone. It is about what endures when everything else shifts. It is about the love that survives every closing door and fills every hollow space. It is about the bond that will remain unbroken even as the world changes around you. Stay, beloved, lean into this stillness until it becomes a presence. Let what is being given here move from words into the marrow of your soul. For when the hour comes that this strength is needed, you will not be empty-handed. You will carry within you a truth that cannot be shaken, a love that cannot be lost, and a shield placed there by hands that have crossed eternity to reach you. Amen.